Most people are addicted to stress, not because they enjoy it, but because their nervous system doesn't know who they are without it. We live in a world where chaos feels like a currency. The faster you move, the more you juggle, the more important you must be. Stress has become identity. Pressure has become proof that you're trying. This frantic energy is the background noise of modern life, and for many, if it suddenly went silent, they wouldn't feel peace, they'd feel a terrifying void. Being constantly stressed out has become a default setting, a badge of honor that signals you're in the game. But what if this entire approach to how to handle stress is fundamentally broken? What if the very act of handling it is the problem? Because tough people, truly resilient people, they handle stress very differently. And it's not what you think. The reason so many of us are stuck is because of a hidden addiction. It's a biochemical trap. When a deadline looms or a crisis hits, your body floods with cortisol, the stress hormone. It's an alarm bell. Your heart races, your focus narrows, and you enter survival mode. Then, when you solve the problem, you get a hit of dopamine, a reward chemical. The fire is out. You feel relief, a sense of accomplishment. Your brain logs this sequence, high stress, followed by a rewarding dopamine rush. So subconsciously, it starts seeking the fire. It craves the urgency. This is why people can't rest without feeling guilty. It's why the always busy mindset is celebrated. It's the quiet, gnawing anxiety behind the promise, I'll relax after this one last thing, knowing another last thing is already waiting. The truth is, it's not laziness that kills progress. It's the addiction to chaos. This constant cycle erodes your health and wellness, preventing any real chance at a cortisol detox because you're always looking for the next emergency to validate your existence. How to deal with stress starts with understanding you might be unknowingly hooked on the feeling itself. This is where the tough mindset pivot happens. It creates a psychological split-lens moment, completely redefining what resilience looks like. Most people absorb stress. When a problem arises, they internalize it. The pressure, the anxiety, the fear, it seeps into their identity. The problem isn't just something they have, it's something they are. They become the stress. They carry its weight in their shoulders, their stomach, their mind. It dictates their mood, their decisions, their entire state of being. Tough people, however, do something radically different. They observe stress. They see it as a dashboard warning light in a car. It's not the car itself. It's an external piece of data. The light flashes, low fuel, engine trouble, tire pressure. They don't become the warning light. They simply acknowledge it, read the information, and decide on a logical course of action. This creates emotional detachment without apathy. They disassociate just enough to see the situation with absolute clarity. This is the foundation of genuine stress relief. You stop being the storm and become the calm, calculating observer watching it from a safe distance, ready to act with precision. This is the core of effective problem solving. This shift works because it's a logical hack for an emotional brain. When you're stressed, your amygdala, the brain's primitive fear center, hijacks your thinking. It floods you with emotion and pushes you toward fight, flight, or freeze. Logical, creative, and long-term thinking goes completely offline. You're operating from a place of pure survival, even if the threat is just an angry email from your boss. The act of observing stress, of seeing it as data, interrupts this emotional loop. It forces the brain to engage the prefrontal cortex, the center of rational thought and problem solving. You're essentially telling your brain, thank you for the alarm. I see the data. Now let the adults in the room handle this. Think of a pilot during severe turbulence. They don't absorb the panic of the plane shaking. They observe the instruments, communicate with the tower, and execute their training. Think of a surgeon in a crisis. They don't merge with the fear of the moment. They observe the patient's vitals and make precise, logical decisions. This is how to manage stress through clarity, not control. You can't control the storm, but you can control the ship. Tough people don't avoid stress. They outthink it. The first step in making this change is an internal one. You must break the identity loop. This is the conscious shift from feeling stress as your identity to recognizing it as a temporary chemical loop in your body. For years, you've likely told yourself, I am stressed. That statement fuses the feeling with your sense of self. It's a permanent state of being. The resilient mind makes a small but profound change. It rephrases it to, I am noticing a feeling of stress. This simple linguistic tweak creates a space between you and the feeling. You are no longer the stress, you are the one observing it. It's no longer an identity, it's a biological event, a surge of cortisol that will eventually pass. To make this practical, start to notice when your body craves urgency. That itch to check your email again, that compulsion to create a problem where none exists. That's the addiction talking. That's your nervous system looking for its familiar hit. Your job is to recognize it, name it, and choose not to feed it. This is the first, most critical step in a true cortisol detox and the foundation of advanced stress management. The second internal shift is to activate observation mode. This is the mental framework that allows you to maintain clarity under pressure. It goes beyond simply noticing the feeling. It involves actively narrating the situation from a detached perspective. When a challenge hits, the average person's internal monologue is, "Why is this happening to me? I can't handle this. This is a disaster. This is a victim's narrative." And it's designed to merge you with the pressure. The tough-minded individual uses an external narration technique. Their internal monologue sounds more like, "Okay, the project deadline has been moved up. That is a fact. This is happening. Now what are the variables I can control? What is the most logical first step?" See the difference? The first is a panicked, personal cry for help. The second is a calm, objective assessment. That subtle linguistic change from "to me" to "is happening" instantly lowers cortisol because it removes the ego. It's no longer a personal attack. It's just a situation that requires a solution. You are no longer the main character in a drama. You are the strategist analyzing the board. The third and final internal shift is to prioritize logic over fear, training your brain to solve before it suffers. When stress hits, most people spiral through worst-case scenarios. A financial issue becomes bankruptcy. A health scare becomes a dire diagnosis. This is suffering, emotional forecasting of a negative outcome that hasn't happened. Resilient people interrupt this spiral. When the warning light flashes, they don't ask, "What's the worst that could happen?" but, "What can I do right now to improve this by 1%? They activate logic before fear takes root. If a big bill arrives, they ask about a payment plan. If they get criticism, they ask for steps to improve. They train their brain to solve, not to spiral. That's how they manage stress and produce results, not more anxiety. So, how do you build these shifts? Through grounded, repeatable habits. First, interrupt the loop. When stress surges, pause. Before reacting, stop. Take one deep breath. That brief pause lets logic step in. Second, narrate from the outside. Use third-person self-talk. Instead of, "I'm overwhelmed," say, "John sees there are many tasks. What's the most important one?" It feels strange, but strengthens the observer mindset. Third, borrow a better lens. Think of someone tough you admire. Ask, how would they view this? What would they do? Like Napoleon Hill's mastermind principle, you borrow their logic until it becomes your own. These habits are the foundation of true stress management and lasting wellness. But understand this: resilience isn't sold in books or apps. It's not in motivational quotes. It's built slowly and painfully through experience. The fake motivational culture sells bliss without problems. Real toughness is forged in silence, analyzing instead of complaining, choosing logic over panic. It's earned when you face fear and still choose a rational response. The strong don't just bounce back. They study failure, extract lessons, and grow stronger. They turn crisis into curriculum. Toughness is built quietly, through consistent, unglamorous choices, day after day. So, as we close, if stress is simply a signal, a warning light, a piece of data, who's really in charge? The signal or the one who answers it? Most people let the signal rule. They react in panic. But true resilience is realizing you decide how to respond. Tough people don't fight or ignore stress. They master their response. They use it as a cue to engage logic, clarity, and strength. That is the essence of stress management and the ultimate form of problem solving.